Uranus, the planet of revolution and change, goes direct after being retrograde for about 4 months on Saturday, January 27th, promising more surprises, but also more forward momentum and opportunities to innovate, find freedom, and express our unique individual sense of self. This is a big shift, not just for Uranus, but for the world, astrological world at large. Listen up to find out more and hear me break it down for all 12 signs. My name is Anastasia. I'm a traditional Western astrologer specializing in natal, relationship, and predictive readings. If you like my work, please take a minute to support me by leaving a like or a comment, subscribing, and pressing the notification bell. All of that really helps, encourages YouTube to show my content to more people, helps me grow. I appreciate that and want to create more videos in return. You also have the option of saying thank you by buying me a coffee. Thank you so much to everyone who has taken advantage of that opportunity. Before we dive in, a couple of announcements. Until the end of January, you still have a few days left. You can take advantage of my year ahead sale and save $20 on the in-person year ahead reading using the coupon code 2024. 20 is the word, 24 is numbers. It's down there as well. Or you can save $40 from the recorded reading to also learn what's ahead for you. The recorded reading already has a discount built in, and you can find it in the shop section of my website. In the shop section of my website, you can also find my products, such as my 2024 year ahead astrology planner. It has 225 pages filled with astrological wisdom, transits, new and full moon information, lunar phases, lunar guides, anything you need to know, including best dates and challenging dates that you want to be sort of laying low, taking it easy, and just careful of some drama. Additionally, on my website, you can find the products I create. So we're talking about Uranus. Uranus is in Taurus. Last year, I created a Moonlit Trinity candle and oil batch. And this one, it's called Moonlit Trinity because it has 3 strong placements in it. It's Aries, Sun, Moon, and Venus in Taurus. Sun is exalted in Aries, Moon is exalted in Taurus, Venus rules Taurus. So this is perfect for creative inspiration, passion, abundance. It's good for maximizing the Uranus and Taurus going direct transit and creating a sense of stability in your life. Because like I said, just Uranus going direct on its own can create like a lot of forward momentum, but also a little bit more chaos, because that's what Uranus is by nature. So Moonlit Trinity definitely has the power to chill you out a bit. This is also, it's a Jupiter in Pisces oil. I don't know if you can see it that well. I guess you need to look at it like that. This is my favorite, personally, my favorite oil, probably the candles I'm out of. I still have a few oils. This was created in late 2022. And this is very special because Jupiter will not be in Pisces for another like 10 years. And Jupiter will go into Gemini in 2024, which is the sign of its detriment. So the fact that it's in the sign of its detriment means that Jupiter will be a little bit more overwhelmed in the Gemini sign, which is the sign of multiple possibilities. So I've been really loving this one because it has the kind of beautiful power to chill me out, calm me down. So take advantage while I still have a few left. And the same applies for Moonlit Trinity. I'm out of candles for both of those, but still have oils. So now that we got this out of the way, let's talk about Uranus. So Uranus retrograde started on August 28th, 2023 at 23 degrees, approximately 23 degrees Taurus, and it ends on the 27th of January at 1905 Taurus. So if you're someone who has planets between 19 and 23 degrees Taurus, and other fixed signs like Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo, this is good for you because you have been dealing, especially between, like I said, 19 to 23, you have been dealing with aspects from Uranus. And this will be, right now, it's the sign that this is the final aspect from Uranus you're getting. So while Uranus is speeding up and moving out of its retrograde shadow, you're going to get your final aspect from Uranus, and your evolution, your transformation will be complete. And then Uranus will move on from 19 degrees all the way up to 27 degrees. So for those of you who have planets between 23 and 27 degrees of Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, you're in for a Uranian round. Like if you have, if you have like a planet at 25 or 26 degrees, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, and Aquarius, you haven't had an aspect from Uranus quite yet, but you're in for one. And there's nothing to be afraid of. Uranus is like Prometheus. Uranus wants to improve the world. It can be a little bit chaotic. Sometimes it shakes you up and you're not sure why in the moment. You're not sure what's the point. But I think the goal is to enlighten you. The goal is to make you more self-reliant, self-contained, self-sufficient. So Uranus aspects from Uranus can be in the moment uncomfortable, especially it's like, we're talking about Uranus and Taurus, so your finances, your place of living, your foundations of your life can be shaken up, but I think in the long run you will find yourself happier and more authentic. Authenticity is a big word for Uranus. So Uranus is the planet of innovation, change, independence, surprises, freedom, revolution, independence. If I'm repeating some of these words, forgive me, but it's the planet that stands apart. It's the planet that doesn't give a lot of, it doesn't care that much about what other people think. So it's sort of like, it's all about progress. It's all about forward momentum. It doesn't want to be stuck in one place. So when Uranus is retrograde, the function of the planet is a little bit impeded, right? Like there might be that focus on change, but it's a lot more internal as we sit with our desires, as we feel restless, as we're maybe like the changes are happening internally. It's a little bit harder to bring them into reality. Of course, we also had Jupiter retrograde in Taurus for a while. It just stationed direct at the end of December. So the big thing that I teased in my introduction is the fact that when Uranus goes direct on the 27th of January, it's not just Uranus going direct. At this point, all planets are direct, and we get this like small window every year. So between January 27th and March 31st, we have all planets direct, right? So you get like a little bit over 2 months of everything direct, and it's kind of start of the year. I know we have already had New Year's, and we've had almost the full months of January, but a lot of times I think for me personally, and please share how it is with you, but I feel like January still takes a moment to get rolling. Like a lot of times we're still completing things from 2023. I know I'm still, at this point when I'm filming this reading, I'm recording horoscopes that people ordered back in 2023. So I'm still getting my finances organized, and we're all sort of paying taxes. So there is an element of slow start. But I think once Uranus goes direct on the 27th and then everything else is direct, you are more capable. You have more agency to take your plans and bring them into real world. So like I said, when Uranus is retrograde, there's more inner changes, there's more tension a little bit. You're not as capable of taking action, making change, creating progress in your life. You have to be more slow and steady and patient. So when Uranus is direct, everything that has been brewing under the surface comes to reality. So if you've been thinking about starting a business, if you've been thinking about ending your marriage, if you've been thinking about getting injections or Botox or whatever it is, when Uranus goes direct, now is the time to go for it. And because Uranus is in Taurus, we can expect more momentum in the Taurus 1 sector of your chart, which is what I'm about to tell you, what this might mean specifically for you, but also more momentum in the Taurus like themes, even in the collective, right? Like Taurus represents money, so we can see maybe markets and inflation, all of that sort of change dramatically. I do like, there's Jupiter in Taurus right now, so Jupiter is, I think, like calming Uranus down a little bit, so it's not just like change and shocks and surprises for the sake of that, but Jupiter wants to grow and make things better. So I think if there are any changes in like financial matters, hopefully they're positive. I will believe that until I'm proven otherwise. But yeah, changes connected to money, food prices and food industry, even your nutrition, your diet. You might sort of, maybe you've been pondering becoming a vegetarian, now you do. Living situation, real estate, another thing. If you've been thinking about buying, selling, moving, Uranus going direct is a good time. Beauty, fashion, relationships, love, all of that is the domain of Taurus, so you're likely to experience transformations there. And now let's take a quick run through the 12 signs to remind you what kind of topics can Uranus be moving forward for you. So if you are an Aries rising, Uranus is stationing direct in your second house of money and values. Jupiter has gone direct here on December 30th. Now Uranus is stationing direct, so you're getting a double positive, forward, direct, quick change momentum in your house of resources, finances. So that should make it easier to get any money you've been waiting for, to perhaps receive, sort of more opportunities to make money. There might be more opportunities to rethink your self-worth and sort of become more clear about what truly is important to you versus what is the world expecting, right? So I think your approach to resources can transform. It's like, of course, this could bring more money, but this could also create a sense that you're not valuing money, but more so you're maybe valuing knowledge and learning and being free on some level, right? So some kind of deep realizations around resources are likely. New beginnings as well, business, new ideas, using technology, being like kind of scientific, innovative, revolutionary in the house of finances is also quite likely. If you are a Taurus rising, Uranus is going direct in your first house. This is, of course, a big deal. First house is your identity. It's your physical body. It's your health. It's basically how you answer the question of who are you? If people ask you, who are you? Are you a yoga teacher? Are you a doctor? Are you a nurse? Are you a mother? Are you single? So like Uranus going direct in the first house could offer opportunities to bring change to any of those things, right? It will encourage more authenticity, will encourage more independence, a chance to grow, a chance to expand, a chance to become the source of change in the lives of other people, right? Uranus is not just going to shake you up. It's going to encourage you to do that to the world, to be the person who awakens other people. So becoming a tech mogul. Is that how you say it? I don't know. I think so. Mogul, tech mogul. Becoming a teacher, becoming sort of entrepreneurial more so. But like I said, it's going to be very unique to each person. For some, it might mean like, moving from being single to being in a relationship. For somebody else, it could be becoming a parent. Like your body is changing, your image is changing, your goals are changing, and you're going to be more capable of taking advantage of that. And actually, instead of just like thinking and feeling restless, now you're more capable of like making the change happen. So have fun, Taurus rising. How has Uranus in the first house been for you for the last like 4 years, 5 years, maybe even, I think since 2019. Now, if you are a Gemini rising, Uranus is going direct in your 12th house, which is interesting, right? Uranus has been in your 12th house for a while. I think some of you have experienced sort of like spiritual awakening, became more interested in doing healing work, doing introspective, imaginative work, sort of connected deeper with your mental health. So anything that you have been kind of dealing with and thinking about, any sort of release of outdated habits, therapy breakthroughs can come with Uranus going direct, opportunities to change your life, to say no to something, to release something that's holding you back. Uranus in the 12th house wants to break away from outdated patterns, outdated ways of being, outdated relationships, so you can see everything you've been thinking about sort of manifesting through saying no to things, through breaking away from things. It can also bring, like I said, mental health changes, like breakthroughs in therapy. It could bring an opportunity to relocate, an opportunity to change your home, just sort of like change your place of living, because 12th house is like a place of foreign lands, a place of like faraway places. So you're also very much getting ready to like escape into something. Also, like 12th house rules work that lets us escape. It rules sort of healing work instead of like very sort of minute day-to-day writing reports, filing paperwork. So like I think there's also an invitation here and more opportunities to start doing work that is more spiritual, healing, and authentic to who you are. Let me know how this resonates. If you are a Cancer rising, Uranus is going direct in your 11th house of friendships, networks, social media, hopes, dreams, wishes for the future. More fingers. So Uranus being retrograde here, it could have created a lot of like, you know, I'm excited about making changes in my life. I see these new beginnings, but maybe there's a lot of other things that I'm handling at this time. And just like a lot of inner restlessness and feeling ready for things, but not quite knowing how to make that change, right? Like not quite sort of being ready. And Uranus going direct here will potentially bring up like exciting encounters, new people coming into your life, new ideas, new projects, more inspiration. I think, you know, the fact that 11th house represents new dreams and plans for the future. So you're sort of getting ready to reinvent how the world sees you, and you're getting ready to take maybe some kind of leap of faith here. It's like the Fool's card in tarot. You're getting ready to like go on adventure, and Uranus and Jupiter here are inviting you to look at people in your network and decide who you want to bring with you. Oh, I'm getting the fancy light. I'm excited. Look how shiny my hair looks. gotta admire my own hair once in a while. So I think it's exciting. It's positive. It's very opportune and active. So instead of thinking about the change, you're actually getting ready to make the change, right? You're no longer sitting on the bench, reserve bench. You're getting ready to put yourself out there and make things happen. If you are a Leo rising, Uranus is going direct in your 10th house. So for a while, Uranus has been retrograde in your 10th house. Just in general, Uranus being in your 10th house is encouraging you to change the way you do work, to innovate professional routines, relationships with bosses, right? But I think the last 4 months, Uranus has been retrograde, and you may have felt ready for new things, but not quite aware how to make the changes happen, right? There could have been like a lot of restlessness, maybe things feeling slower, maybe you asking a lot of big questions, but not quite knowing how to take action on them. So good news is Uranus going direct will be more helpful in terms of revolutionizing your career and taking action that makes you feel more authentic, taking action that offers more independence, that offers more fulfillment. Uranus in the 10th is not about doing work that just pays the bills, right? Like Uranus in the 10th is about doing work that makes you feel inspired, work that changes the world, that helps the world, that reveals something, that sort of shines light on topics that people feel uncomfortable talking about. So please let me know how this resonates. make a vision board, get excited, sort of write down your ideas, maybe, you know, brainstorm some new beginnings for yourself, and gear up and sort of get ready for the upcoming Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in April, which will bring this to a peak, peaky peak. If you are a Virgo rising, Uranus is stationing direct in your 9th house. So Uranus has been retrograde in your 9th house, and maybe you have felt things slowing down or things sort of not being as clear in the sector of education, travel, writing, publishing, right? There could have been a sense that you are ready for something new, that you're ready for a breakthrough and change, but you didn't quite know how to get there. And this could literally affect, like, you know, maybe you're involved in some kind of legal case, or you're waiting for a visa, you're waiting to sort of become a citizen in a different country. Or you are a writer and you're feeling sort of unhappy with the current publishing company that you're a part of. Or you're interested in traveling, but you don't quite have the resources. Like, you know, sort of questions around those matters, but also like 9th house is a very philosophical, it's very sort of house of the higher mind. So I think there could have been also a sense of asking big questions. Do I want to be a yoga teacher? Do I want to be a therapist? Do I want to do both? Do I want to unite them? Like kind of like a lot of uncertainty. And now that Jupiter is direct and Uranus is stationing direct, you may experience a lot of sort of breakthroughs and opportunities to take things to the next level, to find more independence, to find more freedom when it comes to self-expression, to find opportunities to like renovate, revolutionize the ways you do things, right? So like I said, changing your job, embracing like unique sort of perspectives, even unique sort of philosophies, bringing them into your work, maybe going into a brand new direction with your writing, finding a publishing company, self-publishing, like a lot of sort of opportunities to first, I think, change your beliefs about yourself in the world, and then bring that work into the world so they know what you believe in, sort of share your ideas with the rest of the world. If you are a Libra rising, Uranus is going direct in your 8th house. 8th house represents money, debts, shared resources, mortgage, any sort of entanglements, agreements you have with other people around resources, even, you know, like legal matters, financial matters. So with Uranus being retrograde here, you may have been sort of looking at your resources, looking at your desires financially, maybe even desires for your business, and not quite taking action, sort of like sitting behind and asking questions, but not, you know, making the moves. Like even thinking about getting a mortgage, thinking about starting a partnership, asking what's worth your time and your energy, which commitments, which relationships are worth your time and energy. Thinking of like your financial strategy in terms of like paying off debts or making investments, you know, making your business official, whatever it might be. There could have been a lot of resistance that you've been facing. And now that Uranus goes direct, there's more of an opportunity to take that action, to start that partnership, to sign that contract, to say no to something outdated, right? Like even 8th house represents like mysteries and death and shadows. And so like, I could even see this being a very healing transit when Uranus goes direct and you break away from something that's tying you back, whether that is a financial agreement, a debt you have, or an outdated connection that is draining you, right? Please let me know how this resonates. Also, if you are waiting for some kind of payment, if you're waiting for an inheritance to come through, that can also be the case. Resources coming from other people, sort of like sudden opportunities to start a new partnership, to make an investment. Like there's a lot of exciting action coming, I think, with this. If you are a Scorpio rising, Uranus stationing direct in your 7th house. 7th house is the place of relationships, partnerships, contractual agreements, any sort of significant one-on-one relationships. So with Uranus being retrograde here, there could have been maybe some inner restlessness, certain like uncertainty about a relationship, uncertainty about a partnership. Maybe you felt like inspiration is harder to access, right? Uranus has been retrograde for the last 4 months. So Uranus going direct will bring like a fresh energy. It's going to bring a perspective shift. It may bring new opportunities when it comes to business, when it comes to partnership. It can also very much affect your partner, right? Because 7th house is other people. So Uranus going direct in the 7th house could be suggestive of your partner getting some kind of new beginnings in their life. I have a Taurus rising, Scorpio rising couple that I know of, and the Taurus rising, you know, there's like kind of new beginnings, major beginnings in their life. And I think it's interesting because like it comes from her, but it's affecting him too. So it's also so interesting to see like, you know, Taurus rising and Scorpio rising together, which makes a lot of sense because they're the opposites, but how I basically see it. I see it. Please let me know if you see it. If you are a Scorpio rising, do you experience and foresee some kind of breakthroughs and transformations in your partner's life that will then affect your relationship? I can see, you know, sort of opportunities to sign a contract, to start a partnership, to maybe take your business to the next level. Anything that you've been pondering and thinking about, you're now getting ready to kind of go for it and explore it. And remember, like I said, between 27th of January and March 31, we have all planets direct. So it's the best time to act. Let me know how this resonates. And let's move on to Sagittarius rising. So Sagittarius risings, Uranus is going direct in your 6th house, offering opportunities to take professional action, to experience breakthroughs in the sector of health, yours or someone in your family. There could be like more developments professionally because Uranus was retrograde and maybe you've been feeling like ready for something new, but you didn't quite know how to implement it. So Uranus going direct could literally be like a different job offer, an opportunity to move, right? Some kind of change happening in your everyday life that is affecting your work or your living situation even potentially. But I can definitely see this as like things transforming when it comes to health. Maybe you realizing that you want to be a vegetarian, or you realizing that there is a different way to do things. Maybe you're starting to exercise. Maybe you're starting to like run every day. Maybe you're breaking away from the job that is frustrating, that you were unhappy with. You may find sort of more pleasure in interacting with colleagues or doing work that is healing, and also like learning more about health, yoga, exercise, anything like that, sort of incorporating more of that in your identity and making healthier choices for yourself. Definitely do that because, you know, Uranus can be full of surprises and bring some disruptions to your everyday life, so you want to be prepared. Let me know how this resonates. If you are a Capricorn rising, Uranus is going direct in your 5th house of romance, pleasure, and joy. So Jupiter has stationed direct about a month ago on December 30th. Now Uranus is going direct. And if you felt any sort of uncertainty, restlessness, and lack of forward momentum when it comes to your creative projects, when it comes to your babies, any literal, you know, or creative babies, when it comes to your love life, even like, you know, like 5th house represents sex sometimes. So maybe there's been some kind of thing you've been thinking about trying in the bedroom, but you haven't felt comfortable expressing it. So when Uranus goes direct, it's the time when you're more ready to play, you're more ready to have fun, you're more ready to innovate and improve relationships, sort of change things up. There might be breaks in your romantic relationships, especially if you feel like the partner is not supporting you or doesn't have the same idea, the same values, the same sort of sense of fun as you are, or even if you are on different levels when it comes to children potentially. And the lives of your children can get updated, right? There might be something that maybe your child has been struggling with, and now Uranus goes direct and they suddenly find a way to break away from the old and introduce some like new habits, new routines, and welcome new opportunities. Please let me know how this resonates down below. Now, if you are in Aquarius rising, Uranus is going direct in your house of home, family, and living situation. Uranus being retrograde here could have created some sort of like slowing down when it comes to real estate, when it comes to property, maybe some restlessness when it comes to family, where, you know, things are not being said or not being expressed. There may have been like a sense of like disagreement with family, but maybe struggling to express it fully. A lot more like introspection when it comes to childhood, or what makes you comfortable, what makes you secure. And when Uranus goes direct, let's remember that Jupiter has gone direct on the 30th of December, so Uranus joins Jupiter, and also Uranus going direct marks the 2 months long period of all planets going direct. You are starting to feel more ready for the changes, whether that means moving away, sort of finding a new home somewhere else, or it means speaking up and building different relationships in your family, whether that means starting your own family and buying a property, for example. It could be definitely like a physical shift in terms of relationships with family and your living situation, as well as a more spiritual sort of confidence boost, awareness that your past and your family life and, you know, your parents and their beliefs do not define you. So maybe you're kind of going your separate way when it comes to that. So, or even finding comfort in some kind of spiritual practice, and like finding comfort in expressing who you are, expressing your unique self, like sort of learning to embrace your quirks. A lot more can come with that. As well as, like I said, some kind of like surprises, separation, maybe moving away, maybe kind of getting rid of a toxic relationship, anything like that can happen as well. Please let me know how this resonates down below. Last but not least, if you are a Pisces rising, Uranus is going direct in your 3rd house. Jupiter has gone direct on December 30th. Now it's Uranus' turn. And 3rd house represents schedule, siblings, communication, your everyday life, your logistics of your life, right? So if you have felt sort of restless to make the change and ready to move, or ready to take a different route to work, or even like transform something about your everyday life, maybe change the way you communicate, now that Uranus is direct and Jupiter is direct, it will be a lot easier, I think, to get in touch with your true authentic speech. It could be the time when you're discovering new skills and interests and hobbies. You're finding a way to express yourself differently. Maybe it's at work, maybe it's in your business, maybe it's in your relationship with siblings. I think you're having less patience for sort of shallow things, and you're more willing to like almost like shock people with your opinions, but you're not necessarily doing that just to shock them. I think you're just more honest and less afraid of what other people might think. Relationships with siblings or life of a sibling can be transforming as well, or like someone who is sibling-like to you. There might be changes to where you live, where maybe you're moving, changes to the technology you use, where you're investing into something like the fancy piece of equipment, buying a new phone, buying a new car, buying an Apple Watch or something. And and I think like breakthroughs also around old ways of thinking about things, like getting ready to step into the world and show the world a different version of yourself, to sort of speak up about things that you care about, to start writing, to start kind of expressing your interests in a more comfortable way, I can see here. But people might be shocked to hear what you truly think sometimes, and there might be some conversations that other people find kind of, you know, like you are being Uranian, you're using your word to revolutionize, to shock, to enlighten other people. Please let me know how this resonates. I'm excited. This period between January 27th, March 31st is always it's always different every year, but this year that's it. It's really nice to have all planets going direct, moving forward. I personally don't mind the retrogrades because they let us slow down and connect with what we truly want. But it doesn't hurt to then speed up after we've been quiet for a little bit. So enjoy. I hope to see you in the next video, and I'll talk to you soon.